Get this. Weekday mornings from 9 on Triple M. Fifi Box is with us.
Yes.
Hollywood's secret gay list issue.
Whoa.
What would be a good name for this segment?
Oh, how gay is this?
Thank you, Rex. What else have you got to say, Rex?
I'm paying gay money.
Okay.
You Rex.
They say that John Travolta's paying gay money because there's a blurry shot of him going the full kiss on the lips in the new weekly. What do you make of that, Fifi?
Well, I don't know, Tone. I've looked at that. It's a long distance shot.
Yeah.
It's clearly zoomed because they're John and the dude are all fuzzy.
Yes.
But also, you don't know that John is not going. They could be. It looks like they're going front on. He could be going to the side of this guy's face.
True.
What's unfortunate for John is that he's puckering,
He's on the pucker.
and the pucker does look a little bit.
But even
suspicious.
if that was true, I mean, the fact that he's kissing a bloke full on the lips at an airport, Casablanca style, does that really mean anything? I mean,
For the new weekly, it does.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does look very suspicious.
I can't recall ever having kissed a bloke full on the lips at an airport ever myself, but I'm not saying that means anything.
Can't recall. Or...
But that's just the frontispiece for this incredible outing.
Who are they outing?
And that's the thing, it's the secret gay list.
Okay, so who have they outed from this secret list?
And are there lots of allegeds and friends of friends reporting this? Because I don't know.
How removed are we?
Yeah.
The onlookers are falling over themselves.
Are they?
They can't get past the lunches and towels. Okay, who would be... You ready to be shocked?
Yeah.
Incredible bombshells. Lance Bass!
What? Didn't he just come out?
Ages ago.
He's the Backstreet Boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Terrible secret.
So that's not really
Yeah,
anything,
that's
is it?
not very good. No. Who else we got?
You've got Drew Barrymore, but then it's got bisexual.
Well, you can just say that.
Didn't she say that years ago?
She did. She was on Dave Letterman talking about her girlfriend at the time.
That's hardly a
Okay,
bombshell.
that's not a bombshell.
Who do you want to see? Who would make it a bombshell? For me, Brian Dennehy.
Wow.
If Brian Dennehy came out, that would be the secret gay list.
Ray Martin.
Ray Martin.
What about Baby Suri?
Baby Suri, already gay rumours.
Yeah.
Anorexia fears. She's very small. What do you make of those photos, Fief?
The Suri photos, I don't know. Look, I've been sceptical of that relationship from day one, all his relationships. But for mine, Baby Suri, is it just me, or does Baby Suri have Elvis's hair? She's got, it's like the hair's been superimposed. It's a massive thatch of black hair.
Well,
it's not
the
quite
whole
right.
photo looks like it might have been created in a computer today
Yes,
on
it
front
does.
of Vanity Fair.
Oh,
something.
so they've released a photo. Is it a sneaky photo or a released photo?
No, it's a very overly posed Annie Leibovitz style photo.
But then there's actually 30 pages of photos.
Yeah.
He's not
Really?
just one or two.
30?
Well, he's got it's like the first half of Vanity Fair is dedicated to photos.
And
of Baby
Katie
Suri.
Holmes just looks hypnotised. She's in some Scientology thetan coma. There's something going on. It doesn't look right. Who else is on the gay list?
Who else is in there?
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, but she said that years ago.
Yeah.
Bisexual.
Yeah.
That's the
I
bombshells.
hate it when girls say, oh, no, I actually might save this for later on if we're going to do deal breakers.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
I'll save that. I'll sizzle
Okay.
But
that.
the point
That's
is,
been
though, Tone,
crackled.
3 that you've mentioned so far are all self-confessed bisexual or
yeah.
gay people.
Well, listen to this. Insiders have predicted that Angie's bisexuality will be a factor in the impending breakup of her already unstable relationship with Brad. What do you think, Rex?
The guy's happy.
Okay.
The most important thing.
That was totally irrelevant. There he is.
The guy's happy.
Here's a quote from Angelina Jolie. I have loved women in the past and slept with them.
Oh.
If you want love and you want to pleasure a woman, particularly if you are a woman yourself, then you know how to do things a certain way. Let's just all picture that for a moment. That's pretty sexy stuff. Oh, you better turn that music off. It's getting too steamy in here. All right, who else? Michelle Rodriguez experimented.
That doesn't count.
There's the word experimented, and then there's just an arrow pointing at her.
That's not gay.
She denies continuing speculation she's a lesbian, though she's admitted testing the water with women.
Testing.
Testing the water. She was seen looking intimate with women at a New York club in May.
Oh, yeah.
Says an insider.
Oh, what about a nightclub goer? Jeez, I thought a late night reveller would have been in there.
Listen to this quote. Michelle was certainly not a shy girl.
No way.
As she pushed her breasts against another girl's boobs and moaned in her ear.
Okay.
Added a sauce, she seemed to be going from woman to woman, nuzzling her face in their breasts. She couldn't keep her hands to herself. She looked like she was in heaven.
She was probably trying to get through to go to the toilet.
Oh, it sounds raunchy. Let's all just picture that for a moment. Oh, it's full on. What a steamy segment. Enough, Mr. Marsden. What do you reckon, Rex?
I got my gay rocks off.
Of course you did. Lance Armstrong and Matthew McConaughey.
No.
Not gay.
Oh.
Not gay.
Oh.
It's the secret not gay list as well, you see. Internet chat sites have been talking non-stop about how close that hunky pair have become. Listen to this. They've then printed actual lines of dialogue off the internet.
No, they haven't.
They're quoting chat room blog types. Listen to these quotes. Matching shorts, matching bracelets, matching waxed torsos. I mean, what are they? Writes one blogger. Oh,
Sounds genuinely confused.
matching everything. I mean, how gay is that? Said another. So they're quoting these guys off the internet.
That's taking it to a whole new level.
But quipped Lance,
Quipped.
Matthew and I both love women very much.
Yeah.
And then,
Touche.
for further proof of Matt's true sexual preference, Matthew McConaughey, check out page 34. Quickly.
Quickly to page 34.
There you go. He's in a swimming pool surrounded by hot chicks.
Yes.
Whoa. So everything is right with the world again.
Fine.
Evidence
All gonna be
presented.
fine.
That's hilarious.
There we
That's
go.
the Hollywood, gay list. What do you think, Rex?
That's what a
Gay.
fool does.
Fair enough. But let's go a little bit more
Cheers,
closer to
Rex.
home. Because what kind of emails have you been receiving this week, Ed?
Yes. Well, apart from the filth, Chris and Nick have written in to say on Tuesday's show, we heard Ed say my boyfriend in conversation, prompting us to go, geez, Ed's gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We both think it's okay. Oh, Ed must be gay, but he's still pretty funny. Thanks very much. Then on Wednesday, blah, 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 Lucky Hugh made a crack about a girl I went to the movie with.
Yes.
And here, this is the bit I like. This resulted in confusion in the car this morning, as we now thought Ed was a player amongst the ladies.
Confusion in the car.
Confusion in the car, confused car, drivers say. Now, this is the best bit. How does Ed get his rocks off? Does he keep the girl happy, or does he deal with Dickinson?
Oh, how gay is this?
That's fantastic.
So, thank you, Chris and Nick. That is well done.
Right.
Speaking our own language. And the best thing is that they put the dick in Dickinson in capitals,
There
just
you
in case
go.
I missed the pun.
Can I have a look
I
at that?
didn't.
So, well,
Yes.
Ed, I mean, this is interesting.
Yes,
I mean, obviously,
see,
your,
Fifi is asking the question.
your people want to know, and I'd like to know myself. Are
All I'm
you-
saying is just, I'll get in a pool, and if the babes want to hang around, we'll just see what happens.
So you're essentially Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
So, Ed,
Yeah.
do you keep the girl happy or do you deal with
I
Dickinson?
keep the girl happy, but there is no girl, so I keep nobody happy.
The guy's happy.
And as for Dickinson,
Well, he can look after himself.
he has to look after his
Yeah, he
own
can deal with himself.
enormous globes.
Yeah.
Now, we've had an email.
Yes.
Someone saying, hey, Ed, this is Matt Alderman.
Hey, Matt.
You've got to get onto YouTube
Yeah.
and check out this clip of Nickelback being pelted with rocks by a Portuguese crowd. Have you checked that out?
No.
I've seen that.
Have
I
you? Is
saw
it
when
funny?
it's hilarious.
Yes, it's not to be
funny.
encouraged.
No, it's not at all, but it is quite funny. And then Chad cracks it.
Does he?
Does
Yeah, he cracks it. and he yells at the
turn-
audience and storms
he?
off.
Turns on him.
Right.
Chad, not happy.
See, as you can see, Ed, and we had the little joke earlier in the gay segment, he's maintaining the idea that he's not a Nickelback fan at all.
Not a Nickelback fan.
You sure?
Well, I thought I was sure. Yes.
You deny it a lot.
Because it's true.
I think you like Nickelback.
I'd like to see you prove that,
I
Martin.
think I can prove it. I'm just going to... What sort of sounds can you get out? Because to prove it, I need the Beatles.
Oh, yes.
Sadly, Nicky was unable to secure their services.
Oh, is that right? Why? What are they doing? They're not doing anything.
Oh, they're booked.
Oh, yeah.
They've got traction elsewhere. But, so I thought, well, we've got the Charlene 5000 here.
Yep.
What sort of? Just show me what sort of sounds you can get out of it first. No good. That's not real music. Oh, hang on. What's that?
Last bit?
That's good.
Oh, you like that?
What was that
Okay.
last bit?
All right, let's have a bit of that. Here we go.
Okay.
This is my song about Ed. Oh. Oh, is that in tune? Nearly. It's a dirty story of a dirty man, and he says he doesn't care for a certain band. Yes, it's Ed Cavalier that I'm speaking of. You know, he claims that he's not, but he's secretly a Nickelback liker. Nickelback liker. Dear Chad from Nickelback, I'd like to meet, 'cause I really like your pants around your feet. Oh, I wouldn't tell Tony and Richard that I'm a fan of your band, but it's true, I am a Nickelback liker. Nickelback liker. You are a Nickelback liker.
How can I argue with that?
Oh.
You are. I
Not
swear
fair
to you
enough.
are.
No.
You definitely are.
You like-
Nickelback liker. 8 vocals, not one of them in tune. But I had to make the point.
I can't argue with 8-part harmony. Tone,
Yeah.
I think that's the best song you've ever done.
Oh, really?
That's got dance sizzle. If that was being played at the clubs around town, obviously I have to change the words so it wasn't about me, because that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But a dance remix of Paperback Writer, that's good work.
It's up there with your best work. You can't. Your work is so good. You
Yeah.
can't say one is better.
Up there
than the
with
other.
Crazy Lesbians Full of Beans.
Yeah. See.
I want to. I want to set you a challenge though. The
Right.
next time you write a song,
Yes.
try and not have an English accent when you sing it.
It's never been done. It's because I just can't sing normally. But if you go Cockney, you can. Anybody can sing.
True.
Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter.
Quite nice. Maybe Bob Franklin could sing us a song one day. Tone.
No, that's not going to be happening. I wouldn't worry about that. 10 a penny, Bob Franklin impressions. What am I looking for?
I don't know.
I got
What,
some sort of email.
relationship- I've got-
Yeah. Last time we did this.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the
Relationship
kind of
deal
thing we get, Fifi. Listen to
Okay.
this. Michael says, definite deal breaker. Taking your partner to dinner. She doesn't order dessert and then proceeds to eat yours.
That's not
Oh,
cool.
see, I cannot relate to that. I've never done that because I actually order 2 desserts. I have
Do
my
you?
dessert. I have an entree, then dessert for main, and dessert for dinner for dessert.
What does the bloke think of that?
Well, he's still
Are
around.
we not meant to talk about him?
Oh, right.
He certainly
No.
is around. I saw him walking past before.
I know, and that's the thing. Talking about the bloke, when you mentioned it, it threw me because we're actually dealing with a deal breaker at the moment.
Oh, what's
Oh.
that?
Well, I had a deal breaker when we first got together because when I met him, I was instantly attracted to him.
Yes.
But then on our second date, he wore a low-cut shirt, and I revealed a very large tiki necklace. and I'm not great with men and jewellery at the best of times.
Is he from New Zealand?
No,
though?
he's not.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
And it was actually from the Solomon Islands, and I've hidden that now. So I got rid of that quite quickly. One night he took it off, and it's gone. But the other night he came home, and I looked at him and went, "Something's different. Oh, what's going on?" And I was sort of watching him as he was making food in the kitchen. I went, "I've got it. What's happened to your hair?" And he said, when I went to the hairdresser today, she said it would help me to take the buffiness out if she straightened it.
Oh, and has that
Now,
worked?
well, straightening is a little bit too much for me. See, I like a bloke, a man, just
Yes.
have your hair like flowing natural. I love a hirsute
you love
man.
Grizzly Adams.
Yes! And he's gone put straightener. It's just a little bit effeminate. And then it got worse. I was looking at him in the face and I went, there's something not...
You've had a facelift.
No, worse. He's waxed his eyebrows.
He's waxed his eyebrows. What is it with this bloke? Because he's quite intimidating. I have to say, I was in your office talking to you the other day, and he came in, and it was like it was the Bold and the Beautiful. What are you doing talking to my missus? What's going on here? You don't do a show together? What's that about? And the mullet was sort of looming over him.
Yeah, well, let's
Quite
mention the mullet too.
impressive.
He's got a mullet. He's had his hair straightened and he's had his eyebrows waxed. It's sort of in deal-breaking territory for me because I don't like a man that sort of looks after himself that much.
So what's good about him?
Well, it's big.
Okay, there you go. Information. Right.
Tone?
Relationship deal breakers. People who aren't willing to drive around in a car with me while I practice all my English accent songs. There you go. That's going to be, get involved, but no, there's going to be bad singing in the car at traffic lights. The great thing I find now is that thanks to mobile phones, you can sit at the lights,
Yep.
do your silly voices to
Yes.
yourself,
Yep.
try out your sketches, and people just think you're on the phone.
I agree, Tony. I think that must because I sing all the time in the car and now people know that, well, maybe she's talking on her, speakers. or
Maybe she's
hands-free.
singing the final countdown by Europe for work-related
To a
reasons.
friend of hers. I got a couple today, Tone.
Yeah.
If you make a joke and a girl punches you in the arm, like she goes, and kind of smacks you in the arm playfully.
You don't like it?
I hate it.
But you've got massive arms.
Yeah,
Your
when
arms are bigger than my legs.
and the other one is that if they say, My biggest one is my dad is so cute. That's the word. That's
If someone says your dad is
no.
cute.
If I'm talking to a girl and she goes, my dad is so cute. That's number one. If I ever hear that sentence, I'm out
It is
of here.
always mentioning that one.
It's the worst one ever.
And always there's a woman sitting in your chair who just doesn't understand what he means. Something's obviously happened early on.
But my other one is that one where they go, I'm not a lesbian, but I would totally go Angelina Jolie. And you wouldn't. You would not. And then I get quite graphic. I say, all right, would you XX da-da-da-da-da? And they go, no. PC.
And nobody
Say
XXX da-da-da-da-da's on the first date anymore, Ed. That went out of fashion in the 70s.
There
Okay.
you go. Why am I single, do you think? Yeah.
Well, it's the KFC ad. No, Fifi, I'm really fully expecting your bloke to just burst in here. And
No,
Right,
he's
see?
fine. I got away with that. He obviously isn't listening, so we're okay.
does he listen
You
to
can-
your show?
No,
he
he doesn't listen to my show. That's why I get away with all of this.
see.
All right.
Look, that might be a deal breaker too. Is it a deal breaker if your partner doesn't listen to your show? I mean,
Call now.
Call in.
Hang on,
Well, it's 1-333-5.
We've got Mrs. Alan Jones on the line. Hello, sir. Indira Naidoo.
Uh-oh.
She got married in Las Vegas. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right.
I
Yep,
got married
did.
in Las Vegas.
Did you?
Which
Did
one?
we marry each other?
Possibly. It's quite possible
It
because
happens.
everyone in a photo in those wedding chapels is so drunk they wouldn't remember their own wedding. It's just Bruce Willis looking with a tie skew with Dan Aykroyd like going, he'll never remember marrying that woman when he wakes up. Where did you get married?
We got married at the little candlelight wedding chapel.
No, we went to the Little Whitechapel. That was
Oh.
there are 150 to choose from. We went to the only one with the drive-through window.
Well, ours is the only freestanding chapel on the Strip. Apparently, that's its claim to fame. And we went the whole hog. We did the Elvis impersonator as well,
Oh, yeah.
who didn't look like Elvis and couldn't sing. So
Was he young or old?
I couldn't tell he was wearing that much makeup.
Because there was two to choose from. There was the young Elvis and the old. And they said it's $40 more for the older Elvis. Because he takes it a lot more seriously. And we're going, really? And he goes, yeah, look out in the car park. And there he was, busting a few karate moves. Waiting to just, enhance any
Did you go with
union.
it?
No, we didn't have Elvis. Who did you have actually performing the service?
We actually had who we dubbed Malibu Barbie, a celebrant who had done 50 weddings that day before our wedding.
50 weddings?
50 weddings, yeah, 2-minute weddings. Ours was very long and traditional. It was about 8 minutes long.
Oh,
By the time
full
the
ceremony.
photos have developed in the booth, you're already married.
Wow. Hey,
That's how quick it
so
happens.
are you trying to tell me that when people invite me to weddings that take, like 2 days and all day and stuff, it doesn't need to?
No,
No.
they're wasting your time.
See, why did you go down that path, Indira?
Why did we go down that? We'd actually been to Vegas the year before doing a documentary for Channel 10,
Yep.
so we got to know the place really well, and we spent a lot of time watching people getting married because there's Star Trek weddings there, people jump out of planes, pirate ship weddings, and the Elvis in the chapel wedding really appealed to us, and so when we decided to do it next year, we thought, why not? And it, meant that we didn't have to invite the mother-in-law as well. So
And
that was
did you
good.
just laugh? We just laughed continuously. You feel a bit wrong afterwards. It's like you've committed some kind of moral crime.
Do you feel like you're actually married?
Yeah, well, no, sort of.
Well, I don't know with you, Tony, but we thought we should just send out invites to all our friends. We didn't really want them to come, but
Right.
just to say, we're getting married in Vegas, but I obviously understand if you won't be able to make it. Well, about 25 of our friends
Yes.
actually rocked up.
Really?
Yeah.
In costume?
Yeah, well, they were various states of dress and undress, I think, when they arrived.
To me, it was all about serviette rings. I just,
You serious? You
There's
did 30
there's
rings?
some guy I know is getting married, and he aged about 5 years and 6 months because he was just going, "Oh mate, I've got to go home and choose serviette rings. We've got to have the serviette rings meeting tonight." I never want to have a discussion about serviette rings in my life.
No.
It's meant to be fun. There should be laughs.
And is it people like literally just waiting in line? Like you just sort of...
Yeah, the people after us, the bride was in a wheelchair. I don't know why, and he was wheeling her in.
Could have gone through the drive-through window.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Saved a bit of time.
Fantastic. There we go.
But it's true, it does save the stress out of weddings. And a company has just introduced Australia's first wedding insurance policy.
Yes.
And when we were asked about, what our thoughts about it were, because we see it as junk insurance, unnecessary, like the crocodile insurance you can get at the moment as well.
Really?
And when the woman doing the article said, but, there's a lot of expense involved in weddings. It's $30,000 and all this time and effort. And And I just said, well, don't spend all that time and effort on money. You know, just get married in a park. You won't need the insurance.
Absolutely
You know,
right.
people
Sensible.
spend way too much money on weddings.
Sensible advice.
Yeah.
Very sensible.
And you go to Las Vegas. Did you have?
Wait a second. You said pirate ship wedding before.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there like the only freestanding pirate ship on the strip that I can go to, or is it?
Well, at Treasure Island, there's this pirate ship that you can like swing on a rope onto with your partner, and then a captain with an eye patch and a bird and every parrot
Actually
marries
a parrot?
you.
Actually a parrot?
Actually, but it's not a real parrot. It's just sort of
no.
fake
I'd
parrot.
pay the extra $40 to get the real parrot.
I think it's mechanised. Its sort of beak moves a little bit.
Right.
And then
Now
another
you're
pirate
interested.
ship attacks your pirate ship, and cannons go off,
Wow.
and your ship sort of sinks, and you sort of fall into the water and are rescued. And that's all part
no,
of the
but I
wedding.
rescue my bride, right? Surely.
Well, you meant to. Yeah.
See, now Ed's interested in getting married. He does get a lot of marriage proposals, and a lot of them are from women.
Really?
So,
New?
you know, get on board.
Rescue someone. That's what I'm going to do. Pirate ship wedding for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay. I want a real parrot though. I want a real parrot that holds rings in its mouth.
And what about a real bride? Do you have someone to actually marry?
Look, Indira, I don't have time for details. All right. The parrot's as far as I'll go.
We had the weirdest thing that happened with our wedding is that because it was the Little White Chapel is famous for having a sign out the front that says where Joan Collins and Michael Jordan got married, suggesting that they'd married each other. And so we come back and we'd been to America. It was the first time I'd been to America. First film I saw, Mars Attacks.
Oh yes.
It's not about you, Richard Marsden. It is one of your nicknames, though, according to Wikipedia. And so we get back to Australia, and our first guest back on Martin Malloy, the show I was doing, was Tim Burton,
Oh yes.
who made and he was promoting Mars Attacks. So I'd seen it in America.
Yeah.
Got married about 2 days later,
Then you said.
and then he comes on the show, and I say I got married in Las Vegas. He goes, "Hey, which one did you get married at?" And I go, the Little White Chapel. Ah, you mean where Michael Jordan and John Collins got married? I go, yeah, that's the one. He goes, I blow it up on Mars Attacks. I go, really? He goes, yeah, slow it down the footage. I blow it up. I blow it to the sky.
That's great.
And I'm going, wow. So 2 days before we got married, we saw the place where we were getting married in being blown up by Martians. And that wasn't a warning to maybe not go through with it.
I like how Marsden thought for a split second that someone had gone to the trouble of making a movie about him called Mars Attacks. Really? Oh, bummer. Oh, well, it's good while it lasted.
All right. You're hitched, Indira. We've learnt that. There's more to get through.
Yeah,
do you do any ads?
No.
Oh.
Although someone did suggest I should do some 0055 sort of ads, but
Wow.
yeah.
There you go.
but,
Okay.
Didn't you spend some time talking to the 0055, our friends at the 0055 yesterday, Tom?
I did call the 0055 lines. Am I allowed to say why?
Yeah, of course you are.
We're trying to put out an album here at Get This.
I know we are.
But it's going to be a special just for the listeners only. 1,000 copies stamped album. But don't think that means it's going to be rubbish.
No, what?
Don't think it's going to be showing up in choice just because it's going to be limited edition.
No.
So I'm trying to track down people who we've spoken to, and I had to call up Amanda on the sex phone line.
Who'd you get?
I got Abby. And I'm going, what? You're quite happy to have Amanda in your ad? See, there you go. Sex phone lines.
There
Do
you
you
go.
subject them to the choice test?
well, it's something for us to do. No, we haven't looked at it at this stage,
Right.
but we could.
Get a lot of volunteers.
We would.
Yeah.
You boys.
Marsden would be.
Bang up for it.
Well, I had to, I'm having to call them up. It's work related, of course, and we're taping it all, for possibly a segment on the show. And I love how on the sex phone lines it says, this call may be monitored for
For training purposes.
for quality assurance. And I go, really? So there's going to be a meeting somewhere where they're going to be playing these calls back. Could have got to the point quicker, I think, Crystal.
Crystal, really.
Could have kept them on the line a bit longer, I think.
It doesn't sound like you're home alone, Crystal. There's people in the background. Jeez, Crystal.
Turn off the washer dryer.
Exactly. Try and turn Dr. Phil down just a little bit.
So, yes, Ed, I was calling sex phone lines yesterday. I don't think Indira wants to know about that. Medibank.
Oh, yes.
Selling Medibank. To who does it belong to?
Do I own Medibank?
I think you do.
All
I
right.
think it's under your name.
Fantastic. And get some work done.
Contact Ed Cavalier. Is that something the choice of tackle? Medical insurance. Is it a dodge?
We have. It's actually one of our major campaigns in terms of what sort of medical cover people get, the quality of health cover, and it's really poor at the moment in Australia. It's not equal access for everyone, and the private health insurance rebate that was introduced to try to boost the quality of health cover hasn't really worked. It's really still favoured the people who were going to be able to pay it for good quality covers. So we don't think it's a fair system, and it's working well.
Because I spend a fortune on medical insurance.
And now I've got to do all Tone's procedures. That's part of my job here. I've been left with I've got to do all the work. I've got to read these textbooks. I don't know what an areola is, but I've got to cut it out. I've got to cut it out, freeze it in case he wants it back.
That's a breast nipple, isn't it?
I think you do know what that is, Ed
Sorry.
Cavalier.
Well,
Going by the photos and the social pages, you're well familiar with the areola concept. But, the medical insurance, I spend a fortune, thousands of dollars, because I'm such a medical nightmare. But then, you never claim on anything. And then you, buy a pair of nerdish glasses. And it's like $400. Yeah. And you go, hey, I've got the glasses thing on my medical insurance. I'll call them up, and they go, yeah, we'll give you $39.50. Okay, it's $400. If my house burns down, you get the value of a new house. No, we'll give you $39.40. And I'm going, right, so when you send my $1,200 bill next year, can I just go, yeah, I'll give you $72.80? You happy with that, Medibank? I mean, what's that about, Indira and Naidoo?
When they hang up.
It's the gaps.
The gaps.
Yes, it's called the gaps, and we're pushing for no gap cover, so that you get covered for all your procedures and all the things like those very bad glasses you're wearing. So, it's really important that the upfront figure someone pays, is what they get back. So.
I made those glasses, Indira. Thank you very much.
He stamps them out on an anvil.
And they're the nicest coat hanger glasses you're ever likely to see.
Out of pipe cleaners.
Absolutely.
And I'm kind of dizzy today, too.
I know you haven't eaten for a bit.
I have not. And Ed Cavalier, this is like his ultimate nightmare. He could not believe it when I said I haven't eaten anything since Wednesday night.
I said, not even a steak?
Not even a massive, juicy steak. I'm fasting for one of my many medical procedures.
Yep.
This afternoon, I'm having cameras stuck in me.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, it's not serious. It's just a pilot. Sorry, I do that joke every time.
Hey, boom, boom.
We're going to be voting organs out of me. That's what we're going to be doing.
Who's hosting?
Hot dogs. Hot dogs. We couldn't secure him. Couldn't nail him down.
Imagine a half hour of Tony spleen and hot dogs. Jeez.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the footage because they take camera footage. When they stick cameras in you, they take some footage. Yeah. I reckon we put that up on the internet.
Good.
And then we put up an episode of that Todd McKenney show.
Good.
And we see which gets the most hits.
That's good. Your internal workings are with best new talent at the Logie.
I'm saying that my internal workings are going to kick the ass of... What is that show?
You may be right.
You may be right. Let's put that to the ultimate consumer test.
Finally a point to this program. After months and months, we finally got there.
Pete Smith is sitting in.
Pete Smith speaking.
There you go. Shane Warne is missing his wife. He says he really misses having somebody to cheat on. It's really hard to get through the day without anybody to cheat on. That's the problem.
Feel for him.
What about this missile video footage the Iranians have put out?
Yeah, it looks pretty menacing.
It was on Iranians' Funniest Home Videos.
The Boeing.
It was, because they just wanted that scary sound when it was launched. It was designed to intimidate Iran's neighbours. They've launched a bit of footage. Apparently stolen, plagiarised from a Chinese missile test.
You're kidding.
They're stealing other countries' missile test footage to intimidate people.
And rebranding it and sending it out.
Rebranding it. That's what they would have said too.
It's rebranding in the idea shower.
They would have had
Iran
an
Missile
idea
HQ.
Those Chinese tests all look the same to me.
Oh, that's quite good, actually. That's quite acceptable. That's great. It's very acceptable this time.
So you don't have to cut that out?
No, they can stay in.
That's live. That's live, that is.
Oh, look, so much plagiarism in Iran.
Yeah.
Apparently the government's popular music quiz is stolen from Rock Quiz. So. Yeah, Spix and Shiites. No, leave that alone. Move on. It is odd, though, that we have a show with the word Spix in the title. I always find that odd.
Yeah, well.
What else? What should be in there? What's been left out of the 50-year celebrations?
Pete, who chose them?
Oh, they were chosen. Don't put me on the spot about each other. They were chosen by the producers, I suppose. I mean, we can't. They didn't ask me, and I wouldn't like to be
didn't ask
involved.
you.
They didn't ask me. They didn't
what's
ask
that about?
Bert. They didn't.
Didn't ask Bert.
No, because it had to be seen to be completely impartial. And I think when you see it,
Yeah, that's good.
you'll be very
Yeah,
pleasantly
right.
surprised.
Yeah, you see, because if Pete had had to say, number one would have been Fancy Free with Pete Smith.
Oh, that's going back.
What's Fancy Free with
It's
Pete
an old
Smith?
thing I did on the ABC when I was a
Pete
kid.
walking
Yeah.
down the street nude.
No, no.
See,
it was
that- in New Zealand, that would have been a show.
It was the Granddaddy of Countdown, but nobody realised it at the
right?
time. Absolutely, yeah. No, they would.
Absolutely. ACDC refused to go on Fancy Free.
Really?
Yeah, mainly because they weren't born.
Too controversial. Now, because I see, there's so many shows in this book that we've got to accompany it. There's so many things I didn't know about like that. And there's the mascot, the station mascot. What's happened to that?
Yeah, that's true. There's not really the station
Yeah,
mascot
like the
anymore,
The
is
prime possum. Look at that guy.
On
He's got a
Prime
t-shirt-
Television, there
a
was a possum.
T-shirt and no pants. That's getting me interested. There's a dog for Channel 9, a dog and a caftan.
Not in Melbourne, might have been up in the regional areas. But, I mean, we had a little animated guy who used to close down the station when stations closed down.
He was boned.
And, he was...
He had to eat a cartoon shit sandwich. Sorry, Pete, we're not here to get you into trouble.
No,
we're not going to do that.
You can't get me into trouble.
Yeah.
Say what you like.
can't.
Throw anything at me you like. Throw anything at me you like.
Teflon Pete.
No worries. No. They paid out my super last week. Say what you like.
What's happened to Cuba Enthusiasm on Sunday nights on 9?
Or we're holding it at the moment.
For
holding
a
it
better
back.
time
Yeah,
slot.
a better time. We're looking at about 2:15.
Oh, 2:15. That'd be the
Sexy
best.
new time.
That'd be great. That's got sizzle. That's the best slot it's had so far, I reckon.
We thought probably just after Quizmania.
Oh, doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good?
Came up with Quizmania.
Well, it's a they're all copying. Look, I'm not going to give any
no,
free
you-
rides here if you
no.
don't mind.
Are we
Thanks.
saying hot dogs is a pioneer now?
It is sad, really.
Zero.
I mean, when you and Graham and Bert were kicking off in the late 50s,
Yeah.
I mean, you could not have imagined that one day hot dogs would be considered a pioneer, I'm sure.
Well, it's based on pick a box, but they couldn't afford the box.
Let's get to the callers. Hello, Dan.
Good morning, guys. How you going?
Excellent,
Ed's
sir.
a bit under the weather, as you can hear.
A little bit rough today, Dan. What would you like to see in the list, mate?
Well, Ed, I don't think you'll probably remember this one,
Okay.
but it wasn't an Australian show, but by crikey, it was fantastic. BJ and the Bear.
Oh, yes. Just paint the scenario for us,
What's
Dan.
going on in that one, Dan?
Well, it was a young truck driver who used to drive around in a big, I think it was a red semi-trailer with white stripes on it. He used to get in all adventures with a monkey as his navigator. I
Oh,
suppose.
my
A
goodness.
monkey is his navigator. Now, the monkey didn't speak, did it?
No, not at all.
It wasn't Lancelot Link style. It was more every which way but loose, any which way you can
That
style.
is fantastic.
Yeah, that was an orangutan, wasn't it?
Oh, was it an orangutan?
It might have been an orangutan.
And was the monkey continuously getting kidnapped and stuff?
Oh, it pretty much got BJ, the driver, out of a lot of trouble, pretty much Dukes of Hazzard style, I suppose.
Wow.
How? By cracking a safe or...
No, he used to pull out his banana and...
Yeah, it was a fair bit of banana action.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
with a monkey.
Banana
You
act.
couldn't afford to make that show now.
That's fantastic.
That's great. Well, BJ and the Bear. Of course,
thanks,
we
Dan.
did our own one down here called Truckies with John Wood in the 70s.
did we?
Failed.
Well, how was the monkey?
No monkey.
There you go.
That was the
There's
problem.
your first problem.
Would the ABC listen? No.
No.
Of course they wouldn't.
No. Hey, Ian.
G'day.
How are you, sir?
Pretty good, mate.
What would you like to see on the list?
Scary thing is, I remember it was Greg Evergan was actually BJ McKay.
Oh,
that
fantastic.
right?
I'm glad that's been settled.
Welcome to Nerdsville, population U.
Greg's running a nursing home in LA now.
Listen, I want to test Pete out with one, actually. It's a show I remember from my childhood, and it was called Adventure Island.
Oh, yes, of course. John Michael Housen
John
was
Michael
on that,
Housen.
yes. And,
Yeah. Now, I actually did a bit of research on that, and it seems that it actually ran for 1,140 episodes.
Wow.
What happened on the show?
It was sort of like a kids' pantomime thing. It was set in the kingdom of Diddly Dum Diddly.
Oh, yes.
Then they had these massive, the cast, there was one bird named Flower Pots who always walked around and had this weird out rig on her, like flower pots on her head and stuff.
Yeah, it was the 1960s. Let's point that out.
Fair enough.
Rumble, Miser, Meanie, great names.
And
Actually,
Jason Donovan's mum,
That's right,
Sue,
Sue.
actually was in that show. And Bruce Rowland, who wrote The Man from Snowy River, the music, he used to write songs every day for the thing.
Wow.
Every day. Every day they'd have different
All on
songs.
LSD, you could do things like that.
There were production values then. Thanks for bringing that up.
Hey, thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Ian. And we didn't get Adventure Island in New Zealand.
What did you have?
We just had a photograph of a stick. That was just went to air for 3 hours every afternoon. That was children's programming.
Loved it.
The kids loved it.
Jeez, they all bought imitation sticks.
And on Christmas, they'd shake the photograph for a bit of excitement. It's fantastic stuff. Who have we got on the line?
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, g'day, Ed. How are you, mate?
Well, I'm good that you've called. What would you like to see in that list?
My one was some bit of homegrown talent from Dougie when he got pulled off the air there.
Fantastic.
Oh,
His
now
home videos.
Australia's naughtiest home video.
This seems to come up a lot on this program. People love that show. And it's love to see such excitement and enthusiasm for a show that never finished going to air.
Well, it only just got started.
Yeah, and really, once it got going, that's when it got pulled
Well,
off there.
actually, Kerry Packer stopped it in Sydney, but it didn't get stopped because of the time difference.
In
into
other states, right.
Wait
apparently,
a second.
apparently.
So who got the full...
I don't know.
Who got a
I
full
think
look?
I don't know. The West might have run it earlier or something because they would have it later normally. But somebody got it to air.
I remember Mick Malloy and myself were watching it
it's
and
amazing.
live to air in Victoria.
Yes,
and
would have been stopped.
It was about 3/4 of an hour of it went to air. And
No,
then
it
suddenly
wasn't that much.
Oh, well, I'm sure we got a lot.
No, it wasn't that
we
much.
got. Did you get the
35 minutes, Tony. I think.
child touching kangaroos' genitals? Oh yeah. I think that was the last bit we saw. And then there was ads, and then Cheers just came on.
You thought, this is getting worse.
They've got to replay that. They've got
Yeah,
to
what do you think? Pete, who do we talk to? How do we get the full length? Surely we've all grown up enough now.
Now we
Yes.
can live with children touching kangaroos' genitals
Look,
now in the noughties.
If we crack it on at 10:30, 11,
Leave it to me. My computer records will bring it up for sure.
I would love
Yeah.
some of that.
Yes.
And of course, it prompted Channel 9's all-time favourite catchphrase, Kerry Packer saying, "Get that effing S off the air." He didn't censor himself though, apparently.
No, fair enough. Thank you, Adam. Hello, David.
Hello.
Hello, who have you got for us?
I would love to see Deadly Ernest.
Oh, now for younger listeners, explain what Deadly Ernest was.
Well, it was all black and white, and I think it was on Channel O at that time. And he used to dress up in this top hat and all these old clothes and fantastic makeup, part of it which looked like a biscuit as a kid I wanted to eat, and show really old horror movies, shocking old horror movies, and he was a hilarious guy.
Yeah, had a top
Absolutely.
hat on and looked like an undertaker gone mad.
I don't even know if he's alive.
And isn't there some theory that there was a different Deadly Ernest in every state, or was it the one Deadly
Really?
Ernest? I think in
I
some
know, I
states he
think-
might have been deadlier than others.
Right.
Not
Well, it was
sure.
Channel O back then, so possibly could have been.
Yeah, it was
But,
down in Melbourne, I know that, but Ralph was his name, and I think he was a floor manager.
Really?
Yeah, originally.
Deadly Ralph.
I think so.
Deadly
yeah.
Ralph.
Yeah.
And one day he showed up to work in the top hat and the Undertaker's makeup, and they thought, you know what? We could use this.
He's still working. He's down at Springvale.
Yet to be boned.
Hello, Wayne.
Hi, fellas. How are we?
We're excellent. What would you like to see in the list, bro?
I'd love the whole show to be just non-stop repeats of Pete Smith's Sunday magazine.
Oh, what was Pete Smith's Sunday magazine?
Oh, that was the days when they, they used to have 15 minutes of news on a Sunday, and then they used to have a magazine program with softer sort of stories, like a newsreel in a theatre, really. Sort of, wasn't it? Bit like that.
It was brilliant.
What was the best thing?
Hey, 2 copies of the CD for the DVD for him, please.
What was the best thing you ever saw on that show?
I think there was one story they did about some jets or something that I can remember. It was so long ago, but every one of them was good.
Right.
Especially at the end when he did his catchphrase.
Gee, and
What did
now-
I say? I'd even forgotten I did the show. What was the catchphrase?
This is Pete Smith for Sunday magazine.
Oh, wow.
We could, if we ask nicely, we might even get one of those.
Yeah, I'll post you one in a plain envelope.
And now, they're fumbling about with Sunday at the moment, trying stuff out. I don't know what's going on that show. They need to bring back Pete Smith's Sunday
that's
magazine.
a good idea.
They
I
need
think,
to
Wayne.
dumb it up.
You know what they need to bring back is, I'm sorry to say, my dear friend Bert mentioned on the weekend in the papers, they need to bring back live television.
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
he's
they're
right.
sitting around wondering why, thank God, you're here so popular.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly,
got that
exactly.
mad live, anything can go
Exactly.
wrong feel.
Absolutely.
I want to feel that everything could go screaming off the rails at any moment when I watch television. Like
Okay.
when I'm listening to this show.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the time. We must be finished about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, true.
Get this. Weekday mornings from 9 on Triple M.